Gets set to do battle with the New York Jets. It's a short kick, taking it to 15. And they'll have good starting field position as he's up just shy of the 40. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Now Dalton. Oh, he's going to take a shot right away. That's caught inside the 20. And DP goes into Jets territory before being taken down. So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on 1st down. This is Joe Mixon, 4th in the NFL in rushing last season. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. The defense showing some anger after giving up the big play. This time they'll lose 1 or 2.
Jets, 18-yard line.
Hands up! Ready!
On 2nd down, here's Mixon. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. 4 yards on the pickup there, and now they're left with a 3rd and 8.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice game like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
Throwing, Dalton. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Bengal TD. Tyler Boyd, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And they are able to strike first here on their opening drive. Bullock good on the extra point, and it's now a 7-0 game. Now Bullock will send this one away after the touchdown. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And the decision to bring it out is going to cost him about 7 yards all told as he's taken down back shy of the 20. Darnold going to lead the Jets up now, 1st and 10 at their own 18. Darnold now to throw. It's brought in by Jamison Crowder. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. 17 yards for the Jets there as they've got themselves a first down.
First down, Jets.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. A shotgun snap for Darnold. He's got the first down and more past midfield. There he goes left side. And all the way in. Touchdown, New York. Robbie Anderson, his 6th touchdown of the season as his guys are on the board here in this first quarter. On for the extra point, Giorgio Tavecchio. It's good, and we're all tied at 7 apiece. Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line.
The Bengals take over 1st and 10 at their own 26-yard line.
The Bengals drive about to get going, and they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. Once again, they'll come up on the 26-yard line, 2nd and 10. Throwing again. Dalton. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a 3rd down.
Well, you got a receiver here who's got 1 touchdown already in this first quarter, and they were trying to double his pleasure there, wanting to continue to go to the guys already gotten into the end zone. But good coverage to make sure that this time it fell incomplete.
He's got his man here. It's Green. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. So in Jet territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line. Now Joe Mixon. They give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
From the 45 on 2nd down. Dalton. He gets this one to Michael Crabtree. And that's going to be another first down as the tackle made at the Jets' 34-yard line. You know, the best game of quarterback Andy Dalton's career arguably came against these Jets. He threw 5 touchdown passes and a 49-9 shellacking of Gang Green back in 2013. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Nate Hairston. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Well, if you go by the numbers, you'll find as the temperature goes down, so does the passing efficiency. And now that we're in December, even the routine throws are going to be harder for the quarterbacks. And this one, it winds up getting picked off.
They'll run here with a former Steeler. This is Le'Veon Bell. And he's going to be taken down shy of the 10, right around the 9-yard line. Big Geno Atkins there to bring him down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, this big defensive lineman will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
He's going to air one out for Anderson. Well, this is taken in. It's complete. Big yardage that time for the Jets. 46 yards. So the big play moves them all the way across midfield. It's 1st and 10 from the 45. They'll give this to Bell running right. And brought down, but able to get it to their 30-yard line. Give him 15 yards on that one, and the Jets move the chains.
I know every time we watch Le'Veon Bell play, we think about him making people miss the hesitation move. But you remember, he came out of Michigan State as a bruiser and a thumper, and he still has those capabilities.
At 225 pounds, an underrated part of his game. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Here's Darnold. And that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however. Let's see what that's about. So they saw the contact before the ball arrived. Penalty flag for pass interference.
And trying to avoid pass interference is so difficult. You're trying to slow down these skilled receivers, and somehow, some way, they make plays on the football, and sometimes you're there too soon.
After the penalty, it's Bell. And an alley to run. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. That's good for a Jet first down, a gain of 13.
Well, think of it like you would a typical boxing match. The person is on his heels and absorbing blows is having a tough time. And that's what's happening to the defense right now, because the offense is on his toes and punching. And there was another first down run right there.
Here we go, son. 54 is Mike. 080. 54. Who that? Mike 54. Mike 54. Check.
Darnold for the red zone now. And Anderson's got it. And he's in. Touchdown, Jets. Robbie Anderson with his 2nd touchdown of this opening quarter. And the Jets have taken the lead. A nice throw there by the second-year quarterback.
And I don't believe that was the kind of play he would have made as a rookie, because usually your rookie season is a continuation of your college days. A lot of one read, and if you don't have it, you just take off and go. Now he's settled in the pocket a little bit more, reading the field and getting to a second and sometimes third progression. That was a nice play.
Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Tavecchio. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive. A tale of two extremes already in this game. A touchdown pass on their opening drive, followed by an interception last time out.
Now, it sounds like things balance out, right? What's that mythological thing that we do? If you have a candy bar, have a diet soda with it, it balances it out. And we know that's not really true, right? Because the interception, that sting lingers a little bit longer. Got to come out now and put together some nice plays.
I know he wants to get his team back in the game, but a 50-50 ball right there that maybe was a little questionable.
Yeah, he's pretty lucky to get that one back. I think that sometimes these quarterbacks play with a lot of confidence that borders on arrogance, and that can put your team in some Dutch.
Yeah, especially maybe want to look at some safer routes after the interception he had that ended their last drive. Andy Dalton now already over 100 yards passing in this first quarter. It's 1st and 10. Dalton here from the gun. He'll find his running back, Joe Mixon. It'll be a gain of 4, and that'll make this a 2nd down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Throwing again on 2nd down. Dalton, he's going to air it out deep for Green, and that will fall incomplete. Oh, they took a shot there on what will turn out to be the final play of this first quarter. So after the 2nd down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. This will be Dalton again. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Rashard Robinson with a pick. And it's a touchdown for the Jets. They were in the dime. They had 6 defensive backs there. So go ahead and throw it. He threw it, and it hurt him.
It's almost thrown into a blanket of coverage, isn't it? You talk about the best defenders you have are the defensive backs. 6 of them on the field. You're almost asking for trouble, and that's exactly what they ran into. Ended up throwing a pick 6.
Yeah, 6 defenders and 6 points. Tavecchio good on the extra point, and it's now 21-7. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. The Bengals drive about to get going. And fresh off the pick 6. They've got to forget about that quickly.
In this case now, the guy throwing the ball, he's got...
And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off at about the 31. And they have the football and will set up shop at the 33-yard line. That's now his 2nd interception in as many weeks from his linebacker position.
And think about all the different techniques he has to employ in a passing situation. Is he spot dropping because it's zone? Is he picking up man-to-man? Is he having to run with a running back or a tight end? In any event, great eyes, head on a swivel, and excellent hands.
Yeah, versatility and showing those hands.
Let's go.
And the Jets first down.
Mike, 54's Mike. Check. Watch 54. Yeah. Shoot.
Well, now they'll try the end around. I don't think anyone in the building fooled right there, as that one is going to blow up in their faces. And that's a loss of 7 on the first down play. Throwing on 2nd and long. Darnold, throw complete to Herndon. It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a 3rd down.
One of the advantages of zone defenses, I remember it, is being able to see the play develop in front of you. One of the disadvantages, when they find those levels where they can hit you with it. Sometimes behind the corner and in front of the safety, it makes it tough to defend.
Mike, 54. All right, T, let's go. All right, T. And ready. Check. Stick down.
From the gun on 3rd down, here's Darnold. In trouble, and he'll go down back at the 12. Geno Atkins in there to get him, and on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him.
Well, maybe that can give him a little bit of a pick-me-up, a little bit of a jolt. One of the few things that's gone right defensively.
Because other than that, it's really been a first half to forget. The kick by Tavecchio is good, and that will extend their lead even further. So he splits the uprights, and has to be a nice feeling. Right when it left his foot, knew it was good.
Yeah, just like a good three-point shooter in basketball, right? Release the ball, fall back on defense without even looking. You know it's going in the hoop.
And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he had taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive. And last time wasn't pretty. One play and an interception. We'll see if they can do better.
I want to see if they want to go ahead and throw the ball again now on this drive after what happened on the last one. Throw it on the first play. Give the quarterback some confidence.
See what happens. Looking for more there on 1st down, but this throw downfield incomplete from the 21. It's 2nd and 10.
Hey, watch the slant.
To throw again. Dalton. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Quinnen Williams, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year. So the sack, and now it's 3rd and long for Dalton and the Bengals. Passing, it's Dalton. Now the pressure comes, and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9. Quinnen Williams make that now 8 sacks for him on the season. Here's Ryan Quigley now, as his first punt will come from inside his own end zone. Now it's Crowder. Look at the spin. Balance. A big kick there. We'll call it 56 yards on the punt. And the Jets will take over 1st and 10. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're numb.
Oh, you saw that one coming. It's intercepted. Thrown back across his body. Picked off near the 42. And he may want to track down that football because that's interception number 1 on his career.
You're saying that's going into the trophy case?
I'd put it there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That's when you ask the equipment guys to make sure they hold it for you after the game. But if you play in the back 7 on defense, that's part of your job, finding ways to take the ball away from the other team.
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete. So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Throwing again. Dalton. And that's complete. It's Green here. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. A Bengal first down on the 16-yard pickup there. Green last year had the lowest numbers of his career output-wise, 694 yards, 6 touchdowns. But, of course, there was a reason for that. He was battling a toe injury the second half of the season. And, boy, did the Bengals miss his presence. They limped to the finish line, losing 7 of their last 8. They are happy to have him back and healthy. And finally, down he goes as they work it inside the 10 to the 7. It's a gain of 35. 2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. This is Mixon, and they'll get this from the 8 to the 5. Pickup of 3.
The passing game's been working quite well so far, but the running game's been a little bit of a struggle, and that's a surprise to me. Typically, when you can throw it, you've opened up lanes for your runners.
On 2nd and goal, 1 man stands in the backfield, and that's Mixon. Here's Dalton. And, it'll be intercepted. Marcus May with a pick. If you combine last week and this week, he's got a hat trick going because he had 2 interceptions a week ago.
He's seeing the ball so well and understanding where receivers are and positioning. I mean, just watching him work with such great technique and paying it off, actually catching the ball when he has a chance, he's helping his team in a huge way.
And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Here's Darnold. They will find his man for the first time, Demaryius Thomas. And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. Now a man open down the middle of the field. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. That one nearly 30 yards, 29 officially.
Check. Watch 54. Here we go. Let's bring it. Let's go. Let's bring it. Let's bring it.
Darnold off the play fake to Bell. Throw left side complete. That's Hodges. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or 2 shy of the 10. 2 chunk plays in a row. The last one was over 20 yards, and so is this one. Darnold now, after the pick on the last drive, 3 for 3 to start this drive. It's 1st and 10, and he'll fight his way down inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain, considering the blitz that they just had against them.
Check Mike 54. Let him know. Kill. And turn it up.
On 2nd and 7, Darnold, a screen to Bell. Well, the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. The Jets are going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 27 seconds remaining here in the 2nd quarter. A nickel look now for the Bengals as they try to stop him here on 3rd down. They'll try and run for it with Bell. And able to break 1 tackle, but then quickly brought down. He needed 3. He got 2. Now that'll set up an interesting situation here on 4th and a yard. And we're going to get a timeout with 2 seconds remaining in the second quarter.
I know you felt that one.
So with 2 ticks left here in the half, on is the field goal unit. This is less than an extra point, just a 19-yard attempt. Tavecchio puts this one through, and that will do it for this first half. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. And the Jets set to receive this third quarter kickoff, and they have the lead as well as we are underway in the second half. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively.
57, Mike, 57. Let's go. Let's get this ball back for the offense. Let's go. Bang, 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 bang.
On second and 11 now. Darnold. It's caught by Quincy Enunwa. Give him 15 yards on that one, and the Jets move the chains.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. The slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
QB's trash. Let's go. Show it up. Show it up. Check.
They'll try the right side with Bell. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Well, they had that one sniffed out. Excellent run blitz. Stopped that one for a short gain.
What makes a good run blitz a good run blitz?
The ability to stay on task, to follow up your assignment, go to the gap you're supposed to cover, and not be deterred by anything else.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9.
Come on, QB, come on. Hey, check Mike 57, Mike 57. Watch the slant, watch the slant. Boy. Mike 57.
Back to throw, Darnold. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Geno Atkins has now recorded 10 sacks on the season.
They need to stop to get back into this game, and here's one right to start the third quarter.
Yeah, anytime you go to the lockers with that 2-3 score deficit, you're right. You need that stop, get the football back, and they've done just that.
Series to series, play to play.
Third and long, it's Darnold. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down. Something we haven't really seen much of from him, an incomplete pass.
Yeah, last week he finished at 70%. This week he's up over 80%. I don't know how you slow him down. Pass rush is usually the best way because a quarterback on his back usually can't complete a pass.
Well, that'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And the Bengals will take over here 1st and 10. The Bengals drive about to get going. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second half?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
Passing again. Dalton on 2nd and 10. Airing one out for Boyd. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there, trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down.
Brandon, at least there's one bright side to that incompletion.
What's that?
It wasn't an interception.
Wow. You're a nice guy. That was kind of savage. But correct. No pick, just incomplete that time. Dalton going deep downfield for Ross. And now here is another interception. Marcus May with a pick. And he's going to take this one back to the 37-yard line. Charles, whatever's going on between his ears right now, it's just not completely calculated correctly. 7 picks between last week and this week after that one.
And they always say the most important part of a player is those 6 inches between the ears. But right now, it's all those interceptions that are going on. So whoever his trusted confidant is on the sidelines, I don't know if it's the offense coordinator, the quarterback's coach, maybe the backup quarterback, that's who he needs to get with now and get himself calm.
They'll try and get the running game going with Bell. Shoves him aside. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
They did a really nice job there defensively. They strung the play out, didn't give him a cutback lane. On each play, you have guys what I call our BCR players. Guys are responsible for the bootleg, for the cutback, and for the reverse. They played that one perfectly.
And rode him right out of bounds.
Mike 52. You remember me? You remember me? Let's go, baby. Check safety, check safety.
Again, it's Bell. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop him. 23 yards the pickup there.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. Now, after the run by Bell, here's another 1st and 10. And now here's a carry heading left. And they corral him just a couple yards shy of the end zone. 11 more yards that go around, a 1st down as well.
Now this is an example of breaking down a defense, because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
52's the mic. Watch the curl, watch the curl, watch the curl.
And he'll try the air now with Darnold. Into the hands of his receiver, Anderson. And he's going to take it in for a Jets touchdown. Robbie Anderson. His 3rd touchdown of the game, his 8th on the year. And the Jets will extend their lead. The lefty Tavecchio now to add the extra point. And that stretches the lead to 27.
Makes the score Jets 34, Bengals 7.
Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Tavecchio. That's fielded in the end zone. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive. They've got to dig down deep. I mean, they need something right now, really anything to cling on to. This offense has struggled.
Partner, join me in a walk to their locker room at the half, okay? Because I think what we would have seen is an offensive coordinator and his assistant coaches getting together with all their positions, then coming together as a group, going over adjustments, and then the head coach coming in and just screaming, wake up.
Yeah.
Let's get moving, guys.
I'm kind of glad we weren't in there at that time, actually.
I mean, you think you might have turned it on us, too?
Yeah, but right now, whatever was said hasn't been working.
44.
From the 24, Dalton. He'll rifle this one deep right side. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually, that becomes man on man, and you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth.
They'll be taken down. The Jets get in there for the sack.
It's been a tough one all game long for this offensive line. They're already down big, and now you know they're just going to come after the quarterback in a big way, don't you?
Yeah, they just can't get out of their own way right now. It's created an avalanche, and an avalanche is coming right on top of them. Crowder now to return. Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over.
At their own 45-yard line.
Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly, because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, in fact, you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
It's still third quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Bell. And he'll get 3 down to the 34-yard line.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
2nd and 7. At the
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7.
Strong right, strong right, strong right.
They'll go again with Bell. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down. When this offense gathers to watch the tape, they're going to like a lot of what they saw. They put up big numbers, but they might fast forward through that last play.
Oh, there won't be any fast forwarding, partner. I've sat in those sessions before. You end up spending more time on the bad plays than you do on the good ones. It's just the nature of coaches. But I know sitting in that room, when you've had a big game, the night that they've had, you don't want to hear that. You just want to focus on the good stuff.
And he's taken down, but not before reaching the 10-yard line. A really nice gain of 25 yards.
Some think that teams really won't throw a slant route unless you have a receiver that has a lot of stature to him. But sometimes the little guys, they get lost in there. People can't really locate them, and they run that quick cut on the slant, and oftentimes they can turn it into big plays.
Darnold now 5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10. Trying to get it to Thomas, and it's intercepted. William Jackson with a pick, and he returns it up just shy of the 20 to the 19-yard line. Now they get a 4th quarter pick, a little something to hang their hat on, I guess.
Okay, so let's face it, though. Who's happy about this play? Fantasy guys, right?
Yeah.
The analytics will tell you one thing or another. That was a bad play on one hand, a good play on the other, but it's all about the fantasy points here.
Yeah, because this ball game is over.
1st and 10 at the 35-yard line.
368.
Dalton, 1st and 10. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. And that is incomplete. Showed off the arm strength there, but to no avail. 2nd down. Just nothing there again. He's been sacked multiple times. We've seen the interceptions, of course. He's really been through the ringer, hasn't he?
And what we've seen is a defense is well coordinated. The front and the back really in sync. The front putting on the pressure, the back.
And that's going to be intercepted. Jamal Adams with it, the all-pro safety. And the return this time will go out to the 42-yard line. Yet another interception, and I just had to double-check my math. But it is now 8 between last week and this week.
Well, I just used a calculator. I didn't worry about double-checking it. But the thing that always throws me when you see quarterbacks in this type of a bad spot, they're trying to figure out.
And he's going to take it in for a Jets touchdown. Le'Veon Bell, his 9th touchdown of the season as his guys continue to pour it on. So another score there. Often you talk about the 3 phases of the game: defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the 4th quarter. after the touchdown. Ready to kick it away is Tavecchio. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Bengals drive about to get going.
Set the tone, defense. Set the tone, defense.
Here's Joe Mixon as they start on the ground. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and it'll be 2nd and 11. Throwing, Dalton. And this is going to be caught, but they'll say out of bounds. So it's incomplete. And defensively, you look at the numbers. Another incomplete pass that we just saw, and they're under 200 yards passing for the game. So they've done their job on that side of the ball.
Yeah, recently I was actually working a game where a quarterback had a streak of 5 straight games without a 200-yard game. And that was a big talk, both in his town and amongst his team. How do we get the passing game going? So big credit to them holding them under 200 today.
Now a shot taken on 3rd down, but it's going to wind up incomplete. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
This is taken at the 18. We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. We find ourselves here in the midst of a one-sided affair. A lot of fill time down the stretch, Mr. Davis.
So we could talk about food because that is something that you and I enjoy. We enjoy our time at the table. So maybe the best steakhouses in the city. But in all seriousness, the performances that we've seen this year, we've seen a bunch of great ones. And it's going to be hard to parse who's going to win the MVP.
Yeah, it really is.
Is it going to be a runner? Is it going to be a thrower? Can a defender finally win it this season? Those are the things that we can probably discuss.
And collectively, this is about as dominant of a performance as... And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. William Jackson with a pick. And he'll return it to the 24-yard line. Well, they're not making it easy on themselves here down the stretch. 2 picks now in the 4th quarter trying to hang on to that lead.
Talk about keeping someone in the game. Instead of being able to shut the door, it's still cracked open because they can come back on you now.
The pressure applied, and he's going to be taken down. They sack him back at the 33-yard line. Henry Anderson in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here. Here's Dalton. All that gets him is just a yard, and now it's 3rd down.
Brings up 3rd down.
The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. From the gun, Dalton looks to throw. He wants it all for the end zone. And this is intercepted, but they'll say out of bounds. So very close to a turnover there in the end zone. Another incompletion. You know, it's a wonder he's still moving around back there the number of times he's been sacked.
Yeah, he's staying out there, isn't he? And you don't think about it much in a game like this, but he's showing incredible leadership. Still competing, still fighting, not taking himself out of a ball game that appears lost.
Well, in the grand scheme of things, those 3 points likely not going to matter much, but I guess they get a little closer, a little more respectability.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been outplayed all game long, but like my mom used to tell me all the time before I went out, dress up a little bit, son. Make yourself respectable. And that's what they're doing here. They're just dressing up the final score.
After the field goal now, it's Bullock to kick it away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. And, Charles, we are in the midst of a very one-sided affair. I think this is where you and I have to fill a little bit. You want to regale us with old stories of your childhood in New Paltz, New York?
I don't think anyone wants to hear that, but this is a perfect time for us to start listing MVP candidates, right? The best teams we've seen so far this year, the best games that we've called thus far, how we anticipate the season unfolding. We can go in so many different directions because the game certainly not taking us there.
Oh, I hear the remotes clicking off right now. They'll keep it on the ground. Bell a first down and then some. And finally brought down at the 31-yard line. And they will finally get to him down at the Bengals' 31-yard line.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
Fresno. Wide. Get wide. Slam. Check 52. Watch the edge. Out. He's tight.
Now a first down carry by Bell. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11.
At the 32-yard line.
52. Check tight. Man 80. Hey, Mike 52. Come on, the ball. Switch. Check 24. Check it.
Now it's Darnold. That one complete to Anderson. Catch number 40 for him on the year. It's a first down. His big game continues. Already has the 3 touchdown grabs, tacking on some more yardage and a first down.
And how precise has his route running been in this game? We just saw him get open yet again, and he's also made adjustments as the defense has tried to really stop him.
To throw is Darnold. Looking middle, and it's incomplete. They're still throwing the football here. Obviously, the incompletion stops the clock. That's a bad thing.
Feels to me like they're just keeping them honest on defense because you know they're going to stack the line of scrimmage and try and stop any type of a running play. Short little passes may work in exchange of running plays. Keep the clock moving, keep them moving.
Yeah, I guess you're right. If they can get some first downs, just as good as running the football.
Check.
They'll fake the handoff. Now Darnold. And this will be caught. And the carnage continues. It's another touchdown. To Vecchio to add the PAT.
Undercut.
And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Tavecchio. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line.
The Bengals take over 1st and 10 at their own 19-yard line.
The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of it. Now the pressure comes, and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9. Henry Anderson in there to take him down on what will take us to the 2-minute warning. So the Bengals in possession of the football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. They'll run with Mixon. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. Up front, the struggles continue for this offense among the line. What can they do? Change the play calling? What?
I think part of that, yes, changing some of the play calls, some screens, some draws, some misdirection. You want to run any type of a play that will influence these guys to continue to get upfield and find a way to use that against them and slip things in.
And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Nate Hairston. And he's going to get this one to the 23-yard line. Gosh, you add up last week and this week now, that's 9 interceptions in this two-game stretch, and we're not done here.
It's almost as if they can't even believe their eyes. Or maybe, partner, is the confidence level in him so high that they believe he'll get out of it and make plays for them to win a game.
Well, they've said they believe in him. That's being tested right here. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. They've called his number a lot this afternoon. You wonder how much tread is left on those tires.
We certainly do, but I always think back to one of my favorite coaches in the NFL, and he used to have a meeting with his running backs every year in the offseason and say, look, as many times as you're going to carry the ball, you should be able to carry it.
And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals.
And to me, that touchdown allows you to start grinning widely on your sideline. I think they pretty much locked this one away.
Yeah, that's the clincher, the proverbial icing on the cake, if you will. Extra point up and good by Tavecchio. And the lead will swell by one more. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Tavecchio. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
Let's go.
The Bengals take over first and 10 at their own 22-yard line.
The Bengals drive about to get going. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that.
Under heavy pressure, and down goes Dalton on the sack. Jamal Adams on the safety blitz, too fast to handle.
I think normally we would talk about this more with basketball players and football players, but let's adopt it in this case. He's a stat sheet stuffer.
Had the interception earlier, now a sack. What, he just needs a touchdown for the trifecta.
That's about all he needs, and he's going to go for it.
And now here is another interception. Picked off by Brian Poole. He's at it again, Charles. He had the pick six last week. Not a pick six here, but an interception.
Hey, it's another Oski, because that's the word we use when we intercept a pass. Oski tells your team to rally around and block for you. Well, that worked really well last week because he had made it all the way to the end zone. This week he got the Oski, maybe not a touchdown, but boy, he's playing really well.